Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to How to Write and Publish Books, Keep All the Royalties and Get Stocked in Waterstones. My name is Richard McMunn, and for this presentation I'm going to teach you exactly that, the most effective way to write and publish your own books. I've had a couple of people who've contacted me today quite amusingly and said, will I be finished before Broadchurch starts at 9 o'clock? So I will try and get it done before then. So it'll probably go on for about 45 minutes to an hour, but there's loads of really good information in here for you to listen to and to watch. At the bottom I've put there, please have a pen and a notepad with you so you can take some notes, because there's some really good golden nuggets that I would like you to get the most from. Really, there's loads of effective ways for writing and publishing books. So let's get straight into the presentation. Now, this presentation, even though I'm going to talk about some of the things that I've done, this is about you and your future success. For those who don't know me, I'm going to give you a little brief 2-minute background about what I've done before. I know there are some people who are on here listening who do know me and my background, but it's quite significant with regards to the fact that I had no prior experience of being in the publishing industry or writing books for that matter, and certainly my qualifications and prior experience would have dictated that I would have never have made it in the publishing industry. However, you'll see that there's loads of opportunities out there right now for you to basically do what I've done in the past few years. Just want to state that the only way you'll achieve success is obviously by taking action. You don't need me to be your motivational mentor or to dictate to you with regards to that you need to take action, but it's just a fact. The key reason why I've done so well in the publishing industry from writing and publishing my own books is because that I've just taken action. I've just not stopped taking action from day one. I also think it's important for you to have a mentor, somebody to help you to achieve your goals, somebody to contact, to tap into, to ask them questions whenever you need help, because that is effectively a shortcut to success. I didn't have a publishing mentor as such. I had someone to guide me with regards to internet marketing, but when it comes to writing and publishing books, I didn't know anybody, so I had to really go out there and find out myself. So I found the most effective way of writing and publishing books, which I will show you. There's 7 key stages really, and for some people who believe that book sales are going down, they're not. They are increasing at a rapid rate. There's some debate with regards to whether ebook sales are outstripping print sales. Most people, and I'm sure if I canvass those who are listening in tonight to the webinar, I could say to you, do you think print sales are less than Kindle? And yes, of course they are less, but there are some signs now that print sales are coming back with a vengeance. I'm certainly selling a lot more printed books than I do with regards to Kindle, and there's a reason for that. It's because of my market. I'm in a non-fiction market. If you are on here tonight and you're thinking about doing fiction, novels or children's books, then you might want to start off and consider doing them on Kindle to get going, because readers will probably use an e-reading device to use those kind of books first of all, but I'm certainly seeing an increase in my print sales. Mentioned earlier on about just quickly about my background. You don't need any prior experience. I spent quite a long time in the fire brigade, so I was a firefighter for 17 years. Prior to that, I worked in the Royal Navy on board HMS Invincible. So there's a picture of me at the age of 17, looking considerably slimmer than I do now. And I left the Royal Navy and then joined the fire service. And I mentioned about qualifications. I literally just have 3 pretty lowly grade GCSEs, and it's quite funny because once I started writing and publishing books, my school got in touch with me to say that they'd heard about how well I had been doing, and would I be willing to go on their Hall of Fame, which was quite ironic because I didn't do particularly well at school, so just 3 GCSEs, but they were quite impressed with what I had done since I had left school, so obviously I agreed to do that. Just one quick point there. Once you've got your book out there and published, contact your school. Tell them that you're an author, you're self-published, you've got your book out there, and your school will more than likely put you on their website as an example of somebody who has achieved, because obviously it's great for all the Ofsted reports, etc. And schools like good success stories. But the key thing with regards to that is that the school will normally put a link either back to your website, or with regards to me, they put a link back to my Amazon sales page, which is great because it's just additional sales. So once you've got your book out there, contact your old schools or universities, send them a copy of the book and ask them to feature you on the website. Okay. How much can you make from books per month? Well, it varies. I mean, on my website alone, I make approximately £50,000 per month, and you see some gross sales there. Between 2 and 3,000 orders on my website per month, which is great. I've made over £4 million so far. Now, that is irrelevant. It doesn't really matter because it doesn't matter to you, but it's just an example of what I have done since I sat down to write books. Now, I actually published my first physical book, and I'm talking about a printed book here, in 2010. So I've done over 200 now, printed books and Kindle books since 2010. So I've worked really fast to get them done, and you can work at that same speed. Now, there's a certain model for success. Now, it's slightly different with regards to fiction books. This is concerning non-fiction titles. But this is a three-step process. I'd like you to write this down if you can. The first step is obviously, write your book, but aim for great quality content. Too many authors really rush to get their book out there without thinking about the quality. Now, you can write and publish a book, a physical book, in less than 30 days with really good quality. So aim for the great qualityness, because the book will sell. You'll get great reviews. The second step is, within the book, you need to think about some kind of squeeze page or website where you can capture people's details. So within the content of the book, you can say to your readers, go to this website and you can get a bonus chapter, for example. There are a number of different things that you can offer. And a good tip here, write this down please, is do that at the beginning of the book, because you'll notice on Amazon, on their sales pages, that there is this thing called look inside. So a lot of people will click the look inside facility on a book, and when they get down to the second page, if you put a link to your website in that book, and it will be a hyperlink, i.e. Amazon will link it direct to your website, they can click that, go through to your website, and you can then capture their details straight away and give them a bonus chapter, which is not included within the book. Now, once you've got people's details, that is powerful. Okay, so if you think about how I managed to encourage you to come on this webinar, okay, I needed your details in order to do that. So I'm offering you something, you're coming along tonight, and I can teach you, and effectively, and I'm being open and honest with you here, is that I'm trying to build a relationship with you. Okay, so you get to know about me, I get to know about you, etc. And then you might come and work with me on a one-to-one basis, or come on with my training course. Obviously no obligation, but that's what we're trying to do. And step 3, think about the different types of services and upsells you could offer readers based on your book subject. Now, you might say to me, yeah, but what if I'm doing a fiction book, where I might not have an additional service? And my answer would be, well, you do. You do have an additional service. You can offer additional books. You can offer videos, stories, and also audio books where you can keep all of the profits. And you can also keep your readers and fans updated with regards to additional books that are coming out later. So what is an upsell? Well, this might be a training course, a coaching DVD on a specific subject that you've covered within your book that goes into more detail. Might be an online training webinar and coaching like I'm doing tonight, one-to-one coaching with individuals where you could probably charge them more money, public speaking, a membership to websites and services. So there are so many different things that you can do with regards to your book, but make sure right at the beginning you register a domain name, you forward that to either a squeeze page or a page on your website where you can capture someone's name and email address. Okay, if you do that at the beginning of the book, then when people do the click inside, they don't even have to buy the book. If you do the click inside and it's on, say, the second page, and it's big letters, go to my website to get the bonus chapter, people will go there and they will sign up. They will give you their details, okay? And that is, as I say, very powerful. Stage 1, first stage with regards to writing and publishing books. You have to sit down and choose your book niche and genre very carefully. And how long should this take you to do? Well, it depends on your specific situation. But I would spend a good hour thinking about this, thinking about your book niche and genre. Don't just go out there, write a book regardless of your own experiences, because this is where we want to get into the realms of making sure that your book is going to sell. Because I don't want you to spend hours and hours and weeks writing your content only to put it out and it does not sell. So first of all is to go to Amazon and have a look at all the different book categories that are on there. So, you know, these are just a few examples. There are hundreds of different book categories. We've got self-help, motivational, reference, careers. I do a lot of career-related books, which, strangely enough, is quite a small market. However, if you look at how much I'm making per month, and that's just on my website, never mind Amazon, it is a decent market. Business startup and advice is huge. Fiction books, erotic fiction. I mean, if you just look at what's happened with the 50 Shades of Grey, I think it's next Friday, the film's coming out from that subject. And apparently, I haven't read the book, but apparently the content is not that great. But, you know, erotic fiction is a big market. Drama, children's books, a massive market. Some people say to me, yeah, but how can you self-publish children's books? Because they're expensive, you know, to get the illustrations created. Well, I disagree. With regards to outsourcing websites now, which you can use, you can get illustrations created at a relatively low price. Okay, so you don't have to, you know, spend a fortune on getting illustrations done. Cooking and food related books, how do we know they're big? Well, you see it everywhere on TV nowadays. Health and fitness, but if you go into health and fitness books, make sure they are specific with regards to a certain genre. So don't just do a book on how to get fit. You know, it might be fitness for over 50s. It might be yoga for women who are pregnant. Do you know what I mean? Something which is really targeted, niche and focused. And also high-end salary jobs. So these are just different book categories. So hopefully during this webinar, you're going to start to come up with some different ideas for your book. And I guarantee if you haven't got an idea now, if you did spend an hour with me, I could come up with a really good idea for you for your book. So what sells and why? Well, this is just a few examples. My books, the How to Become series, was specifically centered on getting the advantage. So the content in them gives people the advantage. I said to people, I was the insider. So when I was working in the fire service, you know, I did a book on joining the fire service, and I was the insider because I'd been in that job. So that's a bit of a key tip, is if you haven't got an idea yet, think about any experiences that you've had so far in your life, whether it's courses, I'll teach you how to do that in a second, courses, qualifications, etc., or experience that you can create content for that will sell. Everybody's always looking to continually improve, so they're great books. People want to save up for property or other reasons, you know, tips on how to save up. Loopholes is also a good one. If you know a particular loophole that you can help people to get by, that's great content for a book. Mystery and thriller books, children's books, erotic fiction, and also fitness books. It's just a few examples of different kind of books. Now, whenever I sit down to write a book, I always think about my USP, and that is my unique selling point. So write that down. Make sure your book has a unique selling point. And what do I mean by that? Well, ask yourself this question. The internet obviously is a mass, an array of information that's for free. What can you give people which is not in or on the internet? Can I give them something different? And it only has to be a real little golden nugget of information that you can give them. For example, within my firefighter book, you could go online and you could find out probably the types of questions that you might get asked at the interview. Okay, so that's fine. I'll put them in my book, but I will add an additional USP, the unique selling point, and that is I will give people the answers to those interview questions. I will also tell them how they're going to be scored and assessed. Okay, so it's little things like that, going that little extra mile to give people that extra information. Okay, so once you've done that and you come up with your specific genre, now think about the idea for your book, because we want to ensure that it sells. Quickly write these down. So ask yourself these questions. What am I good at? Okay, so I was good at teaching people how to get into jobs because I was working in recruitment. What qualifications do I have? Well, I don't have any qualifications really. As you know, I have 3 really poor grade GCSEs. But you know, if I start to think outside the box, I could do a book, How to Become a Millionaire with just 3 GCSEs or with no qualifications. Okay, you know, just thinking creatively outside of the box there. What are my hobbies or my pastimes? What interests me? This is a good one. Has anyone ever asked me for advice? Okay, that's a good one. Have I ever won any awards? What courses have I been on? What interests me? What do I know that other people know? What do they know? So my father, for example, is a magistrate. So I sat down with him, asked him about the role of a magistrate, and then I wrote a best-selling book on how to become a magistrate. So think about people within your immediate network and the kind of qualifications, experiences, courses that they've been on, and there you will probably have a good idea for a book. So use that, use these questions, start answering the questions, and you'll be able to come up with a really good idea for your book. Okay, so also think about what's topical. So read the papers, look for different book ideas within the newspapers. So I'll give you an example. The newspapers revealed that British Airways were going to recruit 800 pilots. You know where this is going, okay? So it said there, Telegraph, British Airways to recruit 800 pilots. Sorry, I then found a serving pilot to write a book for me on how to become an airline pilot. Another really good tip, with regards to book covers, and I'm going to come on to them in a little while. So this was like a sample book cover that we did first of all. Every 12 months or so, I update my book cover and change it. So I don't change the content, but I update the book cover. And in some cases, it literally doubles the sales. Okay, so it doesn't cost a lot to get a book cover updated, so you can get it changed, and then your book sales will increase again. Because all it does, it freshens the book cover. Okay, so I've done that recently with this one, and all of a sudden, you see a real spike in your sales. Okay, so that's a really good little tip that you can use. Some people say, how do you find an airline pilot? Well, again, think outside the box, because as authors and self-publishers, we need to think outside the box. What I did was I went onto a chat forum online for pilots, and I managed to find a pilot and then get him to do a joint venture with me, and I did a 50-50 split on profits. What if there is competition within a chosen niche? Let me just give you a quick example. This publisher here had published this book, and it's called Practice Tests for the Armed Forces. So I was doing career-related books, and I wanted to do a book on the tests for the armed forces. So I saw this book, and now most people would have probably turned around at this stage and thought, someone else is doing it, they're in there dominating the market, what's the point of me giving it a go? But there are two crucial elements, amongst others, for writing and publishing success. The first one is the title of the book, and the second one is the book cover. So if I was to say to you, what do you think of this book cover? And yeah, I can't hear you on the other end, but I'm sure you would think that the book cover is not particularly good, and it isn't. The book cover is not great, and I'll teach you in a little while how to create a fantastic book cover to make sure it sells. Because the important thing nowadays is that most of us buy our books where? Online, on Amazon, on the book depository. Do we go into Waterstones? Not as much as we used to. And I think that trend will continue. So therefore, people can't go on Amazon and pick up a book. They can look inside by clicking the Look Inside facility, but basically they're just using their eyes. Therefore, the book cover becomes more important, and also the title. The reason why the title is so important is because we need, with non-fiction books, to create a title based on what people are searching for. So my question to you is that book cover good? Could it be improved? Ask yourself, how does that book cover make you feel? Now, I don't know about you guys, but that sort of makes me feel a bit, like it's a little bit action man, a bit toy, not very professional. So if I think about my readers, they want something which is technical, something which is more professional. And if I was searching for armed forces tests, I wouldn't search practice tests for the armed forces. So this is what I did. I was looking online, and there's this tool called the Google Keyword Planner tool. I know some of you have heard this, some of you haven't. It's very effective. So I typed in, and this basically tells you what people are searching for on Google. So I typed in practice tests for the armed forces. Nobody was searching for this online, which didn't surprise me. However, 14,800 people were searching for armed forces tests. Therefore, I called my version of the book Armed Forces Tests. Okay, so a simple process. And if you look at my book cover, to me, it does what it says on the tin. I know what that is straight away. It's got big, bold colours. With regards to the letters, we can see it straight away. I don't need to explain to you what that book is. In addition to this, I made my book longer than my competitors. I provided more test questions. I improved the front cover. But this was interesting. I increased the price by £5. Why did I do that? Because of perceived value. Okay, so when you list a book on Amazon, they're going to discount it down by 10, 20, 30, and sometimes 40%, maybe more. But you will get your royalty rate based on the recommended retail price. So most of my books, I list them at £15. So for a non-fiction book, aim for about £13 or £15. If you're selling a fiction book or a novel, aim for around about £10, £9.99, £10. And I'm talking about a printed version here. With regards to Kindle, aim for around about £7.80. So I've tested all these prices, and these are the ones that give me the best return. Okay, but if you do come and work with me, then I can tell you exactly what price to list your book at, and I can also tell you which cover to use, and also with regards to the title. So that's a little bit about the keyword tool. Stage 3, write content for your book that focuses on the reader. Too many people Create content which is just about themselves. Think about the reader and what he or she would want from a book, because if you do that, they're more likely to come back to you. Now, you've got basically three options for writing books. The first one is the traditional method where you sit down and type. Okay, this is the one that I use. And I have a bit of an action plan which I follow, which I'll explain what that is in a second. But always make sure you follow an action plan. Aim for 3 pages every day. Okay, that is easy. You can do that. You can write 3 pages of content a day. How many words per page? You're going to say to me, aim for approximately about 340 words per page. But after a month, you're going to have a finished book. Okay, you can have a book, a non-fiction book of 100 pages. There is an option for you to do, for you to write and publish a Kindle book in 11 hours. Okay. Now, that's ideal for people with a busy schedule, but it's done using speech, okay? Because nowadays we can speak into different devices and then we can get the speech transcribed, okay, put into text, get it edited and then publish it. This is great for like doing blogs and articles on your website. Now, option 3 is outsourcing the writing element. This is for people who have little knowledge of a specific subject. So you might use the book ideas generation form that I showed you earlier, but you think, actually, I don't know how to write that content. You can outsource it. I'm going to put up a bit of a job description in a little while for you to follow, for you to look at. And when you use that job description, you can go on Odesk and you can find yourself a ghostwriter. And there are a number of key things that you've really got to focus on. Tips for writing your book. So write this down. Write the book in Microsoft Word, font size 12, with a 1.5 paragraph spacing. Consider different chapters. So the beginning, this should be up to 5 pages. This basically informs the reader what the book is about and why you are writing it. Now, this is sometimes called a preface. If the introduction is written by someone else other than you, the author, then it's called a foreword. Then write down 10 ideas for chapters. Now, this is the first stage of putting your book together. Write down 10 proposed chapters and try and be creative with your chapter titles. Now, these will very much depend on the book genre and title. So, for example, if I was doing a book on interviews, okay, now I know you're not going to do a book on interviews, but if you were, this is what I would do. And I've put there, always look to upselling your book, particularly at the beginning and the end. Don't forget about putting that link right at the beginning so it gets thrown up on the click inside. Why do employers use interviews? Chapter 2, the common mistakes made by people at interview, the 10 main reasons why people fail, the interview scoring criteria, how you'll be assessed. And you'll see I've split these up here and there's a reason. Sample interview questions and answers, how to easily beat the competition, 7 ways to impress the panel, impressing with interview technique and useful links and resources. Now you will see that at the beginning of the book I am building the pain. Okay, so I'm saying, look, you know, these are the difficult things. You'll see I'm using negative words, mistakes, fail, you know, how you're going to be assessed. And then in the second part, I provide the solution. So I'm building people up. And that's a really good technique with regards to non-fiction books. Write 3 pages a day for 1 month and see how much content you have created. It works extremely well. So if you're going to use a ghostwriter to write the content for your book, now, I did a little bit of a test. It was last year, and I did this book called How to Climb Mount Everest. Now, the reason why I did it was because I wanted to demonstrate to a group of clients who were working with me that you can outsource the complete writing of a particular book. Now, there are a number of websites where you can go on to find ghostwriters. One of them is odesk.com. So you can find a ghostwriter, you come up with an idea, and you hire them. They need to be obviously qualified, but you hire them to write a book. Now, there are some dangers with this because essentially if you get someone who's a poor writer, you're just going to get rubbish content. Don't do that because you'll just get really poor reviews. So this was a sample job description that I used, and I just want to quickly go over it because you can use this if you decide that you want to go on and use Odesk to find a ghostwriter to write a book for you. So you're basically not doing anything apart from creating a job description for the content of your book. So I put there title, Competent and Professional Writer Required for a How-To Guide. The reason why I've put that, there's 2 words there, competent and professional. So if you use that at the beginning with the job description title, you're going to scare off people who aren't particularly good. So you're stating an intent there, competent and professional writer required. So put there, I'm seeking a highly competent professional English author. So it needs to be someone, I wanted someone who's an English author to write. So I'm specific about the length, 25,000 words, entitled How to Climb Mount Everest. The book must consist of the following chapters. So what I've done is I've listed the chapters. That's a good thing. List the chapters. You can also go a little bit further and tell them how many words or pages per chapter you want them to write. Important notes. Now this is the key part when posting a job description for an author, a ghostwriter. The work must be unique, genuine and not copied. The content must be written in English as it is aimed predominantly at the English market. Upon completion, this is important, you'll be required to sign a transfer of copyright agreement. And that basically transfers the copyright and the intellectual property of the written works to you. Okay, you're paying for that work. Don't just think that by paying them for this work, you own the copyright. That's not law. You have to get to sign a transfer of copyright agreement form. I require the completed written document to be supplied in Microsoft Word, font Arial and size 12 with 1.5 paragraph spacing. And then a time. The final deliverable written works must be sent in 8 weeks. Okay, so that is a really good sample template for getting a ghostwriter. Okay, so don't forget to put those important parts in. Stage 4, your book cover will determine how successful your book is. So let me ask you a question. What sells a book apart from the content? Well, the cover does. There's a saying that goes, don't judge a book by its cover, and that's because most people do judge the book by its cover. So there's an example of a hilarious book cover, Cooking with Pooh. But if you get this wrong, you won't sell any book. So it's important to get the book cover correct. So how do we test whether a book cover is good or not? What I want to do is to put this book cover up. I'm going to click the button in a minute and a book will appear on the screen. And I want you to tell me what the book is about. Now, most of you will be confused now because you're not really too sure what the cover is about. Imagine if you were a customer and you're on Amazon looking for a particular book in this genre field. Would you buy that book? I certainly wouldn't. This is an example of a pretty poor book cover design. And the test is you need to be able to know what that book is about within 2 seconds of looking, because the person would just click off the screen. Now this book cover, it says pocket the best jobs in the world. Now do you think that this is basically someone's backside? That's their jeans and a belt, and they've got the globe, the world in their back pocket, and the title is pocket the best jobs in the world. So it's how teaching people how to get jobs. You know, that's not going to sell many copies because it's not a particularly good book cover, which I'm sure you will agree. So that's the test. When you make a cover, make sure people they know what it is within a couple of seconds. So here's some examples of very good book cover designs and titles. I don't need to tell you what these books are about. Okay, you know what they are by looking at them both with the title and the colors and the descriptions on the front. So we've got a book there on membership sites, being a chiropractor, etc. So make sure your book cover passes that test. Now, those people who know Paul McKenna, you'll know that he's very good at writing and publishing books. Now, his books are very, very simple. So you'll see here one is Quit Smoking Today, I Can Make You Thin, I Can Make You Sleep. With regards to the one on the left, which word do you think is the most powerful? And most people say quit, but it's not. The most effective word on that book is today. That's what will make people buy the book. Quit smoking today. So think about using powerful words on your book title. Now you have a main book title. So he's got there, I Can Make You Thin, and then he's got a strap line, the revolutionary system used by more than 3 million people. And he's also got a badge on there as well. Now another really good tip is to put keywords and phrases that people might search for in the strap line. Also, on some of my books, right at the bottom where he's got Paul McKenna, I put my website address, so www.richard-mcmunn.com. So I'll put that on there so that people might just think on Amazon, I'm going to go straight to his website. So that's a really good tip. And you can also do that on fiction books or novels to get people to go to your website to find more about you as the author. So if I want to get someone to create a book cover for me, a designer, I'll use an outsourcing website and I use a title, Creative and Dynamic Book Cover Designer Required. Okay, so don't forget, I'm using 2 really strong words there, creative and dynamic. So I'm going to scare off those people who are not particularly good. I'm seeking a creative and dynamic book cover designer who can create for me the artwork for an important book I've written. The requirements of the project are, you'll supply the royalty-free images for the book cover. So if you're going to have images on your book cover, make sure they are royalty-free. The dimensions of the cover, so I give the designer the dimensions. I tell them what resolution I want it, 300 dpi, which is for print. I require high-resolution PDF full cover jacket file ready for print, and once the initial front cover design is complete, I'll require you to add the rear book text, spine text, and also the insertion of a barcode and ISBN, which I will supply later on. So you'll see that I'm spoon-feeding the designer. Once the job is complete, I'll require a transfer of copyright agreement form to be signed, which transfers the rights to the cover and the design to myself. Now this is important. Always ask for support after the book cover is created because you want some alterations. Tell them the time frame for which you want the book cover to be created. So you'll see there that I'm saying that I want it done within 7 days maximum. Okay, so that's about a useful job description to use on Odesk and different places like that. So make sure you spoon feed the designers. You've got to be really specific with them. Okay, stage 5, become really good at selling on Amazon. Okay, you have to be good at selling on Amazon. So as authors and publishers, we need to be great at selling on Amazon. So the book cover needs to be important. So this is the Amazon sales page. Make sure the book cover stands out. Make sure you generate a book title which is based on what people are searching for. Now this area here, which is called frequently bought together. Okay, now you need to get your book listed on as many different sales pages as possible, and also on this area here, which is customers who bought this item also bought these books. So you'll see on this page, this is an example of my Armed Forces test book. These books down here are all mine. They all belong to me. So can you imagine if your book is on 100 different sales pages on Amazon? On the first page, that's when the snowball effect will start to take place. Now also make sure you create an author page, and you can get that done at Amazon Author Central. This will build trust. Make sure you put a photograph of yourself on the sales page too. Now this is a really good tip for people who are writing and publishing books. It doesn't matter what genre you are in. Put your book on pre-order before you start writing it. Now this means setting up your Amazon account now, getting a book cover designed before you even write the content. Okay, so get a book cover designed, put it up on Amazon. Now you can put it up on sale, on pre-order for as long as you want. You can put it up for like a year or 2 years in advance, and that will allow you to generate some sales. And also once you see it up there on Amazon, that will give you some really good motivation for you to sit down and write your book. Now Amazon has announced recently that you can now put a Kindle book on pre-order too. So you can get your book on pre-order. If you're doing a fiction book or novel, stick it up on pre-order because it will allow you to get some rankings on Amazon, which is really important. Now also with regards to your book, upsell and offer your book to multiple different sales channels. And by that, I mean places like WH Smith's, Play.com, Nielsen, Amazon.com, eBay, Waterstones, thousands of UK booksellers, Gardener's Books, and also making sure that it is on Amazon. But in order to sell through multiple different channels, you need to make sure you've got an ISBN and a barcode. Now an ISBN is an international standard book number, and you also need the barcode. Now the ISBN and barcode on the bottom right hand corner of the book. Okay, now do not pay for the barcode. You need to buy the ISBN, and you get that from Nielsen Book Data, but do not buy the barcode. There is a barcode software online that you can get. It's called Barillo Barcode. B-A-R-I-L-L-O, Barillo Barcode. And that is a barcode generator. So you get your barcode and then you generate it and then you stick it on the rear cover of the book. Very, very effective and cheap because it doesn't cost you anything. Now, after you have published your first book, you should create further books based around the topics contained within your first book. Okay, so if you're writing a novel or a thriller, then consider doing sequels. So once you've got one book, think about getting another one out straight away. That's the method that I use. Let me give you an example. So when I did my firefighter book, which was how to get into the fire service, I decided to do an application form book. I then decided to do an interview book. I then decided to run one-day training courses. So I'll get 20 people booked on a course, all paying £100 each. That's £2,000 every weekend for people coming on courses. Basically, you upsell within the book to tell people about all of these different products and your courses. I then created a firefighter testing book and also online tests. So get more out of your one book because you can make a lot of money by doing a different upsell process. Now, if you want to get your book stocked into Waterstones, there's a process to go through. First of all, you need to register yourself with Nielsen Book Data. And you do that by going online. It's a very simple process. Register yourself with Nielsen Book Data. Then you need to obtain a 13-digit ISBN for your book, and you do that through Nielsen. Okay, now you have to buy 10 ISBNs minimum. How much do they cost? It's approximately £130 plus VAT. But then once you're registered with them, you've got 10 ISBNs that you can then go ahead and use. If you don't want to get stocked in Waterstones, incidentally, you don't have to get an ISBN specifically from Nielsen. You can do it on Amazon CreateSpace, and they'll provide an ISBN for you. Then open your account with Waterstones, preferred UK distributor, and they are called Gardner's Books. Okay, so you need to apply to stock your book with Gardner's Books, okay, and they're the main distributor for Waterstones. Send off a sample copy to Gardner's Books, and then open your Waterstones account using the WTA form, and that is the Waterstones Trading Account form. And then you will be set up to sell your book in the many Waterstones stores that are out there. Okay, so that's the process that you need to go through to get stocked in Waterstones. Stage 7, make sure once your book's out, you drive lots of traffic to your book. The biggest mistake that most self-published authors do is that they don't get any traffic to their book. They just publish their book and then don't do anything at all. And there's a number of things that you can do in order to drive traffic. And when I say traffic, that's people going to your sales page on Amazon. Now, you can get traffic from your own website or your own blog. You can set up a free LinkedIn account and start promoting it there. Use Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, business cards that you hand out. So you get a business card created with your book on there, on the business card, and also a domain name that transfers to your sales page on Amazon. You can set up a YouTube account. I'll talk about that in a second. You can use Google pay-per-click adverts to promote your book. Okay, so these are just a number of different ways. A great one for promoting your book is just to add it to your email signature. So below your signature it says, get my book now from Amazon, and then put a link at the bottom of your email signature which goes through where people can view and buy your book on Amazon. Little things like that really help. Okay, give you an example of how to get free traffic and sales for your book. So basically, whenever I create a non-fiction book, I'll give you an example here. This is one on mechanical comprehension tests, quite a boring technical subject, but I created this book. I then decided to do a 10-minute, well, it's about 12 minutes actually, informative and educational video for YouTube, which was based on the subject matter. So what I did was used a PowerPoint presentation like this and just recorded myself using screen capture software. Okay, and there are different ones you can use. You can use something like Camtasia. If you've got a Mac, then you can use the QuickTime player. And I basically set up this channel, started from scratch, just from my office, and then did a 12-minute video on the subject of the book. So I spoke about mechanical comprehension tests. I gave a couple of examples of how to answer the questions. Now, because Google owns YouTube, my video then started to rank on the first page of Google for search terms such as mechanical comprehension test questions and answers. So it ranks #1 at the top. So that's free traffic. Now you'll notice there that I've got a link in the description of the video, which is where people can go and buy my book. They can go and download it. Now that video generates at least £18,000 a year. So I sell at least 5 of these books a day from that link at £10 each. Okay, so that is more than what some people earn in a year just from that one video. Now my YouTube channel now, it's called Career Vids with a Z on the end. Career Vids has had well over 1 million views, and it's all free traffic. So I'm able to get lots of free traffic for my book, and you can do that by setting up your own YouTube channel. You don't need to pay for it. It's all free, which is great, and start getting all of that traffic direct for your book. I'll give you an example. Just one of my videos, I did a video on passing telephone interviews, and it's had over 300,000 views. Okay, so all I do then is I draw people direct under the video where they can get my book. So you can see there I'll sell a DVD as well, get my DVD below. And there's all my different videos, it will get listed there. So people who see that video might then go and have a look at another video. And as I say, you know, you can see there that's had over 300,000 views, just one video. Imagine that traffic coming through every day that you can drive people to your book. Okay, I've got a quick question for you, which I would like to ask you. Do you want to come and work with me to get your book written and self-published? I recommend you do. It's a unique opportunity. I've got a couple of options for you, which I'm going to go through, which will just take about 5 minutes. Now, first of all, on Sunday the 22nd of February, I am running a one-day book publishing course. Okay, so it's basically a course which will teach you how to write and publish books. Now, this course This course basically will teach you exactly, like I say, how to write and publish your books. So the course itself runs from 9 until 5, and basically if you go to bookpublishingcourses.com, you can see that date there, and come and spend an entire day with me, and I'll teach you everything there is to know about writing and publishing books. Basically we'll cover how to make money from writing books with no experience. I'll explain the different hot book topics that you need to write during 2015, why now is the most important time in the book publishing industry and how you can take advantage of it, how to write and publish books in under 11 hours, the different secrets to being successful as an author and a publisher, and also how to tap into the current niche market areas. Okay, now there's only space for 8 people on each course. Now if you can't attend on the 22nd, there are also some other dates on there as well throughout the year. But like I say, book yourself as soon as possible. It's ideal for any kind of genre of book, whether it's non-fiction, fiction, novels. Come along and I'll teach you the exact process. You'll spend between 9 and 5 p.m. with me on a one-to-one basis, and there's only 8 people on each course. Now to book on that, write this down, go to bookpublishingcourses.com. There's a video on that website and I'll teach you exactly everything there is to know about the course. So the course itself takes place at my offices in Kings Hill, Kent, which is not too far away from Maidstone. Now on the website Book Publishing Courses, if you can't attend, it's too far, there is a video right at the bottom of the page. You can buy a video of the training course. So how much does it cost? Well, it only costs £97 plus VAT to come and join me. So come and spend time with me. It's only £97 for an entire day. Like I say, there'll just be 8 people on the course, which is obviously not a lot of people, which is great. Let me see if I can just find the actual course page for you. Here we go. So this is bookpublishingcourses.com. There's a video there with me talking about the course, and you just look below there. See, there's 4 places left on the next one, which is Sunday the 22nd of Feb, and they are all throughout the year. So places are going straight away, and there's a fact sheet there below about the course. So, you know, come along and spend an entire day with me and you will literally be blown away by the information that I'm going to teach you. Now, if you want to accelerate your learning even more, I've got 2 places available on my VIP author mentoring program. Now, this is a 12-month program. Basically, you get to work with me for a 12-month period to get your book written and published and on sale. Okay, so you become a best-selling author, and I guarantee your book will reach bestseller status because we'll make sure that the content is great, the book cover is great, but I only have 2 places available. So it's called my VIP author mentoring program. During that 12-month period, now obviously if you write your book a lot quicker, or if you've got your book ready now to go, then we can have it published and on sale within 4 weeks in print format and also Kindle format. But here's how I'm going to help you to make your book venture a successful one. So you'll come and work with me and I'll coach you to write your first book. Now this includes coaching on the book subject, market research, book title, book sections and action plan. So you come and spend time with me on a one-to-one basis at my offices in Kent. If it's too far for you, we can do it by Skype, but I always try and encourage you to come and work with me. So you'll get an action plan which you detail what we're going to do and the different chapters you're going to write. Now I'll create the artwork for your book. Okay, so we'll have a proper discussion about the kind of book artwork we want for your book, and I'll create the stunning artwork for your book. I will get your book typeset by my professional typesetting team. So once the book has been created in a Microsoft Word document, we'll get it typeset. Typesetting is basically getting your book ready for print. Okay, so we'll make sure we'll get it typeset ready for print. I'll then set you up as a publisher on Amazon so that you can sell your book, and also set you up on Kindle. So you're going to sell your book in print format and also Kindle format. I'll print your book for you. I will sell your book on my How to Become website. Obviously, if it's a fiction book or a novel book, then my How to Become website is not relevant for your book. However, I will obviously coach you to the same level as if it was a non-fiction book. I'll give you one-to-one coaching to help you get started, and you can come and meet me in Kings Hill for an initial 1-hour consultation. Now, most of them go on for 2 hours. So basically what I'm saying is I will not turn you away after the hour. We want to make sure that you're really happy and you get your action plan, and we both know where we're going with regards to your book publishing venture. Now you will then, after that consultation, you'll get my own personal email address, and you will get 12 months full support. Okay, so I'll support you for the full 12-month period. Let's say you get your book done within 3 months. You would then have, obviously, 9 months left of the program where you can still contact me for that period of time to ask me different questions about your book. If you want to do another one, then I'll still guide you and tell you what to do with regards to that thereafter. So you get to work with me, nobody else, just me, on a one-to-one basis. You will also get, as part of the program, the ISBN number and a barcode for your book, okay, which is worth £297. This will enable you to sell your book in multiple channels. So you get the ISBN and the barcode, which I spoke about earlier on. I will research the book subject for you and tell you which book to write. If you've already got an idea for a book, when you come and see me, we will make sure that your book is a good topic, a good subject area, because we need to make sure that your book obviously sells and makes you a lot of money. Now, if you were to do that with me, I would charge you £1,000 just to research your book subject and for you to come and spend time with me. I've done a number of people's books so far. I did this book through my program. It's called How to Become a Driving Instructor with Bill Lavender. Bill gave me a great testimonial there, which was making a decision to work with Richard to produce my book. Has proved to be an excellent move. I took care of all the stuff associated with publishing very quickly, which left him to write the content, and he's now working on a sequel to his book. So he's so happy with his book. He's a best-selling author, Bill, and it has certainly changed his life since he's got his book out there. So you'll come and spend time with me in Kings Hill, and I'll create your action plan for success. If I was going to do that for anybody outside of the program, I would charge £500 because I disclose all my secrets. You can ask me any questions you want with regards to publishing, and we spend time on a one-to-one basis with each other. Like I say, if it's too far for you to travel, then we can do it via Skype. I'll create the artwork for your book, and if I was going to do that, I would charge £348 to get the standard of artwork that you will have for your book. A lovely lady, Abigail Barnes, I did her book for her last year, joined the program. This is a little testimonial. Thanks for your support in helping me realise my dream. Working with you was fantastic. So everybody's always really pleased with the program. Now this is good. You get to keep the full copyright to your book, and there are no contracts to sign. Okay, your book will be professionally typeset by my team, which is important. So if I was going to typeset your book, I would charge you £300 to do that for you. I'll also set you up as a publisher on Amazon so that you can sell your book, and I will also convert your book for Kindle and implement the royalty system. Okay, now if I was going to do that, set you up on Kindle and set up your account for you, I would charge almost £600 for the privilege to do that. And I will then sell your book on my howtobecome.com website. So how much can you make from that? I get about 5,000 visitors a day to my website. Okay, so if you're doing a non-fiction book, then obviously, you know, there's a joint venture there for us together. And then I'll give you 12 months full personal support to make sure you become successful. And like I say, I guarantee you will become a best-selling author from this program. And that's worth £2,500 to get that full 12-month support. Now, because there's only 2 places available, if you're not quite ready to start, you can join the program tonight, and then you can defer the start of it if you want to. That is absolutely fine. So if you join tonight but you can't start for whatever reason for 6 months' time, that's okay. The 12 months won't start until you are ready. Now, this is the best bit. As part of the program, you will receive 100 copies of your first printed book, which you can sell and then keep all of the profits. So if you're going to sell a non-fiction book at £1,500, sorry, at £15, 100 copies will give you £1,500 back. Okay, so you'll get delivered to your door by courier 100 copies of your printed book. So you get it done on Kindle, and you will get it done in print format too. Once you've sold those 100 copies, if you then want further copies, I will sell them to you at cost price. So that basically means, and it depends on how many pages your book is, but if it was like a 100-page book, I would charge you just £2 per book. So if you wanted another 50 copies, I'll charge you £100. If you wanted 100 copies, just £200. So I'd charge you the flat rate. I spend about £100,000 a year with my printing company. You will not get better deals on book printing anywhere else because I spend so much with them. Obviously, you don't need to use me to get additional copies printed, but I will do the best rate for you that I can. David Isaacs became a #1 best-selling author. Here's a recommendation from him. Richard's author mentoring program is so good. I've used it 3 times now to publish best-selling books, and just one of David's books has made him £24,000 so far. To give you an example of how much you can make, just one of my books, How to Become a Police Officer, that's generated for me £152,000 of profit so far. For those people who, the 2 people who do join, I will also send you a free Kindle. So when you come and see me for the initial consultation, which will get booked in straight away, I'll give you a free Kindle. So once your book is published, you will get that, so you can read your book on the Kindle. Now, I'm so confident in my program, I am willing to offer, okay, 100% money back guarantee. So basically, if you're not happy with the service, immediately after the first consultation when you come to see me, then I'll refund your money in full. Okay, so I'm that confident in the program, but if you come along and see me and you're not happy, I'll give you all your money back, because it's not in my interest for you not to be happy. So the total value is over £7,000 if you were to add all of that up, but obviously it's nowhere near that price. Here's a number of people who are already benefiting from the program of working with me. There's just a list of people there who've already benefited from it. There's a lot more on the program as well. Just to give you an example how much you can make, this is a lovely gentleman, Steve Sawyer, who did his non-fiction book. This was his Facebook page. He put there, my best self-publishing day to date. I sold this pile of books. So he sold all of those books in one day. That's 43 books in just one day, and that equates to over £600, so £644 in just one day. So you can see how much you can make. Another example, Yvonne Newbold, she's a #1 best-selling author. She did my program last year. She sold 65 copies of her book before it was even launched. So we got her book on pre-order, like I teach and explain, tell you to do. Sold 65 copies of her book, and that equates to £975 before the book was even launched, which is obviously fantastic news. So, you know, the program works extremely well. Now, the cost, the entire cost of the whole program, there's no further additional payments, there's no contracts to sign, it's just £1,497 plus VAT. So if you join today, that's the cost of it. Or if you want to spread the payments over 3 months, so that's 3 equal payments, it's slightly more expensive. It's £547 plus VAT. So you pay that today, and then you pay a further 2 payments spread over months. So you pay this one now in February, and then you pay the next one in March, and then you pay the final one in April. So you can spread it over 3 months if you want to. So if you think about it, because you get 100 copies of your book, I'll just go back, you'll get 100 copies of your book. If you sell your book at £15, you make all of your money back. So basically the program is free. Okay, so the place to go to join that, don't forget, it's just 2 places, and please write this down, is www.richardmentorme.com. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick second to write that down, richardmentorme.com. So as soon as you join, you get an email from me, you'll get my personal email, we'll get a date booked in, I can meet you next week, I've got space, so you can come and see me, we can get started straight away. So it's www.richardmentorme.com. So let me just quickly show you that page. So that's the page. There's a video there where I talk about the program, and if you just scroll down, there's a fact sheet there about what happens when you join, and then there's the 2 options. So option 1 is to pay in full, which knocks off about £150 off spreading it over 3 payments. And there's that you can spread it there over 3 easy payments of £547 if you want to spread the cost. I don't mind at all. But that's richardmentorme.com. So don't forget, if you want to go on the 1-day training course with me, go to bookpublishingcourses.com, and you can spend a day with me if, you know, the whole coaching package is not your thing, or if you do want to come and work with me straight away, it's one-to-one mentoring, go to richardmentorme.com. So I really hope you've enjoyed the presentation. You know, I hope you come and work with me, because there's so many different opportunities out there right now at the moment for book writing and publishing. So the next course is literally a week on Sunday. If you can't attend that one, then book in for another one. It's only £97 plus VAT. Or if you want to go the whole hog and come and work with me for a 12-month period, you can see all the people who are benefiting from that program now. Come and work with me at richardmentorme.com. And there we go. There's a few minutes left before Broadchurch for those guys who are looking at watching that at 9 o'clock. But yeah, I wish you all the very best, and if you get a chance, come and work with me, come and spend some time with me, and have a fantastic evening. Thank you very much, guys.